Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Alright, hi, this is Frantz, Kantor, cartoonist, illustrator, and toon talker, and I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum.
Huzzah! So what have we got here today?
We've got...
Just tilt it up a little bit, because it's a 3D lenticular cover for a book. Let me zoom out, sorry. Excuse me for a moment there. Sort of get to the right sort of ratio, yeah. So this is a art of the making of a film called A Bug's Life, which is a Pixar film.
Yes,
and it was 1998.
Yes, this book was published in November 98 by Hyperion. And it's a ripper.
Yeah.
It's one of the first how-to books.
Yeah.
You know how they made, and it's quite big. So let's start off with the end papers.
Yep.
This is one of the original
so
designs.
Just to give you a little bit of a backstory, if you haven't seen A Bug's Life, you may want to go out and rent it or get it on Amazon or something. It's a beautiful film based on, I would say, The Magnificent Seven, which is then in turn based on Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
So the idea is you get 7 people, 7 samurais or 7 gunslingers or 7 experts or 7 heroes that are going to defend this village of ants from what are they? The locusts, plague of locusts. So it's actually
grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers, locusts.
They're
Tomato.
They're like bikers, like bikers.
Well, yeah, they are. They have that sort of brum, brum, brum.
Yes.
And very clever device that they've used. As soon as I saw this film, I recognized the troupe. And it was very, very successful.
Yes, well, it's very different to Toy Story because everything is so small. It goes down to a tiny, see all this detail of every stone.
Yeah.
There's
Buzz and Woody.
Yep. It's a beautifully designed book because it's got the big pictures.
Yeah.
That really give you the feeling of the computer, the textures and stuff.
Yeah. So with the success of Toy Story, they created 7 films. They wrote sort of the outline of the next 7 films. And Bug's Life was the first one.
Yeah.
And I can imagine the pitch over coffee or cake or whatever at the time. Let's do the 7 Samurai! It's like, yay! You know? So it was awesome. I just love it. I think it's a very clever idea to take something from the past and repurpose it in a fresh way. So that you kind of...
Totally fresh way.
Yeah. So that you're really impressed by their ability to fit a story concept or construct within new characters, new plots and new motivations of the characters and the bad characters and the good characters and personality traits and things. So it's quite an interesting little project in itself.
Little project.
Yeah.
Well, I think
these are some of the best character designs. Ants.
This
at the
is
time.
very early. See, they're
yeah. So this is Steve Johnson.
Yeah, and like Mickey Mouse, to simplify the animation, everybody has 4 fingers instead of 5. And of course, ants have 6 legs.
Yeah.
But they turned them into 4 to make them more human-like,
Yeah. This pencil's not Steve Johnson. That pencil's William Joyce, of course, who did quite a lot of children's.
And this is closer to the
books.
original designs. It's
William Joyce designed, I think, what's that guy with the peach?
James
and was it?
And the giant peach.
And the giant peach. That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
And he did robots, and he did.
Actually, I think personally, I think the James and the Giant Peach is the best.
Let's review that
film
next.
Of its type.
Yes, I loved it.
The visual number one thing about this film was the light. It's just extraordinary.
So light is a motif because you're right down into the world of the ant.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're that small, everything you look up is filtered through light, so everything becomes a stained glass window. Yes. Basically. And they figured that out pretty early.
Yeah.
This is early sketches about when they go into the city.
Yeah. Look how... this is the exciting part of Bug's life. Like you get really turned on with the Flintstones being inventive with, artifacts that kind of mimic the modern world. They used the micro thrown out objects like bottle caps and things like tables and chairs. So this is like recreating...
They always did. In Town Rat and City Mouse, films like that, they always used this. But
I haven't seen that since, what was that?
It's 40s. It's 40s, Bugs Life? No. Mr. Hoppy Goes to Town. Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
So here is the Hopper, who's like the head of the bikie gang.
Yeah.
And he's got one crook eye, and he's really scary. But it's very funny because he is a bit like Hopper, the actor.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper. And this is actually there's only about 20 of these characters, but there's they come and they terrorise the ants.
Yeah.
And it's a reverse because the early story of Aesop's fable is about the ant and the grasshopper. He plays his music all the time, and then whereas the ants work, and then when winter comes, he begs for food and they kick him out. Well, this was different because the grasshoppers dominate the ants, and the ants have to collect all the food for them all the time.
Yeah.
And they're standover merchants, big time.
Yeah.
And here they
come...
come...
With the perfect bandits.
Yeah, here they come, and they come like motorbikes, the noise of their wings. And they kick through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they just terrorise all the ants.
Into the...
And see, he's the main character of the grasshoppers. He's terrific. And you have Flik, who is this character who invents things, and he tries to do things for the ant colony, but they kick him out because...
they resist change.
Yes.
See, so their idea is to keep giving Hopper and the other locusts or grasshoppers tribute.
Yeah, and instead of one character changing... he actually makes the whole colony change with his ideas and stuff.
With his ideas and his enthusiasm.
So here he is holding his child, who is going to be the future queen of the thing.
Dot.
Dot.
Yeah.
She's cute and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, he gets kicked out and he goes to look for...
He finds a flea circus.
Yeah, he does.
Run by a flea.
Who's terrific, actually.
He
Flea is terrific. It's the voice of... what's the voice of? Oh, God. Isn't he the voice of Mr. Potato Head? I think he...
No, not Mr. Potato Head. He's the voice of...
Anyway, it doesn't matter. And these are the characters who work in the circus. But the ant character, Miss...
So there's a butterfly. Yeah. I don't know who she's voiced by. These are done by William Joyce. These are early
But you
designs.
know who did his voice, don't you?
Jonathan Harris from Lost in Space. Yeah. He played Dr. Smith. He was the mantis. And Heimlich was very, very popular.
Yeah.
From the guy from Seinfeld. Played George Costanza did the voice of the ladybird.
Yeah. Who's really a bloke.
It's really fun.
Who's really a bloke.
Yeah.
So you have this one, and here's this flea circus.
Yeah.
And they have a spider who...
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's worth it just for this little scenario of the flea circus.
And this character just mugs the whole time. He tries to get more into the script.
Yeah.
than is possible.
Well, he steals a lot of scenes. He's wonderful because of his aggressive and energetic nature. Dr. Smith, the Mantis is very interesting, and all of the other characters are also very interesting. The gypsy moth.
Yeah. He's still got his head. That's amazing, isn't it? He is a male.
Well, probably but he doesn't. He shouldn't be mating with a gypsy moth.
A little Gary Larson joke there.
Yeah.
And so, look at the colouring.
Yeah.
The colouring. And here he is kicked out by the other. The other ants just think that this character's he invents this thing to make the collection of.
This guy here is the old ant. He's voiced by Roddy Mcdowall.
Is he?
Yeah.
He looks a bit like Roddy Mcdowall too.
I loved that because I was a big Roddy McDowall fan.
Really?
Yeah.
From when?
From
Lassie Come Home? From
No, that's too early. From
Spartacus?
No, that's too early. Just like Night Gallery and
okay. Well, I mean,
Columbo.
He was in How Green Was My Valley, mate. He's fantastic in that.
Yeah, as a goofy kid.
Goofy kid.
He was.
Now, these drawings are done by Peter Deceive.
Yeah.
And
Peter Deceiver did the designs for Ice Age.
Yeah, and he started off with...
they're beautiful.
He started off with the bikies.
Yeah.
And then
they gradually transitioned into bikey-ish.
Yeah.
Bikey-ish
beautiful drawings.
Characters.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
Unlike the ants, because they want to be as ferocious and bug-like as possible, they don't lose some of their limbs. They have 6 limbs like all grasshoppers do.
Yeah, so they've opted for 2 limbs for most of the ants, most of the bugs.
And this is funny because this is the sketch for when he goes to the big city. So here you have like a telephone book, and that's like the Brill building.
Square.
The Brill building, and up here you've got Coke and all that sort of stuff.
Coca-Cola bottle.
Very funny.
It is.
Yeah, but it's very quickly.
And there's a running gag with the bug zapper, the electric bug zappers.
Yeah. Don't go there, I'm attracted to the light.
Yeah. So that's a running gag they have throughout the thing. Also, there's a... I just wanted to mention the bird.
Yeah.
Hopper's been attacked by a bird in the past, so he has like this
he's scared.
weak spot.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that gets exploited in the end.
When they come back, they
do
decide...
a Trojan horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Of the bird to try to scare Hopper away because they know that that's his Achilles heel.
That was good saying Trojan horse. I'm impressed with that metaphor.
Good.
Here's the storyboarding.
Except there's no bugs in them. There's no bugs in the Trojan horse version of the bird.
The kids put on this play for the guests who are the circus people.
Yeah.
And then they suddenly realise that they have...
Well, Flik realises that they all realise, Flik and the circus bugs realise that they're not the actual heroes that they were expecting.
Yes.
That they're actually performers. Because
the kids put on this thing and all the ants are... all the grasshoppers are getting chewed up.
There's a pantomime, by the
and these are the leaves that the kids draw
very
on.
Funny. Of course, there's a little bit of give and take. So Heimlich,
he's cut in half here,
is killed by the fight, the big battle with the heroes and the grasshoppers. That's his sort of
here is here. We drew one of you dying because our teacher told him to be more dramatic. And look at the because he's got a bone in the middle, like all grasshoppers have. Looks like a piece of steak. So these are the storyboards. And then when they realise that they're only circus people, they all kick him out, and they all go, including him, because he's really been kicked out now.
Yeah, these are beautiful, simple storyboards over here that establish mood and personality.
And this is another feature of this book is beautiful with this beautiful...
The big double page, look at that, big double page scenes.
The feeling, and you see these textures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You get to lovingly look at it, and the hands and stuff like that. More storyboards?
Beautiful storyboards again.
So this is when the ants fight back.
Yeah.
And we are looking at a computerised film. So all this has to be done before you get to here, which is the final stuff. And what are these?
Oh, these two are beautiful. These little
tuck and
pill
roll.
bugs. Tuck and roll.
They're Slavic
like
or
they
Russian.
can't speak any English.
Yeah, they're Slavic or Russian or something.
Yeah.
And they just bash each other. They're like two of the Three Stooges. you
Yeah.
know? And they're gymnastic. They roll. Yeah.
Some really good characters which they exploit and they show off to.
And there's
beautiful.
a lot of characters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters in this film.
Well, Seven Samurai. They have to have seven at least. They have to have
At least,
seven.
yeah. But there's a lot. There's thousands of ants. And
there's
actually, I think
thousands of-
technically it has more characters than any other film ever made. So that's really hard.
What
to
even ants?
Do
you
have
wanna
to
have
talk
a little-
about?
At the same time as this film came out, or just before, there was a film called
Ants.
Ants by DreamWorks.
Yes.
And
It's a fantastic film because
It's a
it's
great
got the
film.
best
Woody
performance.
Allen.
It's got the best performance of Sly Stallone in his whole career,
yeah.
and Sharon Stone. Now this
This is P.T. Flea, as is P.T. Barnum, right?
Yes.
P.T. Flea is beautifully
he's terrific
designed
character. He's not in it enough. But
Yeah.
he's terrific in it, and
Yeah.
this is how he is. This is
And
all
that's was
this,
the original Toy Story artist Bud Luckey who designed.
how they
Yes.
all this incredible design. You know.
Yeah, well, this is how they create the dynamic mesh. You know, you could see all of the different hairs and the geometry in the actual rig itself.
And this was the hardest character to animate, as you can see,
a lot of
because
soft body dynamics.
yeah, and
Squash and stretch.
that's right. And of course, originally he was a clown, but they got rid of that, and I'm glad they did. Because, you know, and he's
Well, I think there's always an opportunity for exploiting that as a short, perhaps.
yeah.
You know, because people love this.
No, it looks
and
great.
would
It looks great.
really
Don't get me
enjoy
wrong,
it.
but the character, and in the end, he turns into a butterfly, sort of.
Yeah,
So you've got all this stuff. You've got all this crowd stuff. And it was all also made. It's got an epic feel, and it was made with widescreen. And it starts off like a western. And it's got that mythical western landscapey sort of feel, you know, of a lone rider in the
the dynamic element of the land.
And here's the close-ups, and of course, everything when they animate in a computer is everything is in focus, but they deliberately make the focus out of focus in the back, so that you can focus on the foreground, which are these two characters.
Yeah,
She is the upcoming princess, queen. And here's an original design of this character.
Oh yeah,
when he
this
had
is
a
done
cigar.
by William Joyce.
Yeah.
But William Joyce, of course, has his own distinctive style, as does Peter the Sieve. So you know that it's appropriate to get their take on these characters in a production.
It all helps, even if it doesn't end up like that.
Little tiny things like elbow hairs and all of this stuff. It you know, maybe the stance of the character.
Well, they dumped the cigar, but they had a hat too, you know. And here is the bird they make to scare away the grasshoppers.
Yeah.
And you've got this sort of epic. I mean, this is like, you know, this is like building the pyramids, you know.
Yeah, Ten Commandments.
They build this bird.
A DeMille moment.
A DeMille moment. Oh, these are three of the flies that are drunk, and they're sitting in an egg compartment at the circus, and they're quite funny. They're raucous.
And they're also responsible for one of the best lines I've ever heard in a movie, where Heimlich says to the ladybird, Francis, don't talk to them, they're poo-poo heads.
Yeah, poo-poo heads, yeah, that's right.
That's worth the price of the admission.
Yes, that's your European sensibility shining through, Frantz, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, there's some more background designs.
Yes. So you can see the translucent nature, the cathedral-like colours and lighting patterns of the you know, the world of the ants.
And this is the concept art where the flea bloke runs the flea circus. He tears up their contract and they all get the sack.
There's a beautiful drawing by William Joyce over there.
This one.
Yeah. Concept art here by Teocrata.
Yes, well, she's important because, as we'll find out later on, she's
responsible for the colour look.
Yes. So all these technical problems about the scale and ants and all that sort of stuff and what they do, Now we're building a world one leaf at a time.
Oh, this is Tia Cratter's work. Okay, so Tia Cratter designed this world of translucency.
And up until that stage, they didn't really know how they were going to have the colour in it, really. Yeah. But because, as I said before, she drew things where the light comes through and you see the leaf as a stained glass window, because everything at that level is stained glass.
Exactly. And there's several aha moments which she's responsible for. So the look and feel. Aha moments. Yeah, there's a look and feel of the. See how the transparency, locks the characters in this incredible cathedral-like.
He had incredibly expressive hands, and so did the stick figure. I kept on looking at them. This is part of the epic scale that they are standing here, looking out at the. And here's a beautiful, beautiful drawing of just a patch of clover by Glenn Kim. Yeah, they use this picture a lot in the publicity. Yeah, because they're the main characters, and you get that feel of the colour. Yeah, and. Yeah, it's compared to Ants. Ants is a very dark film. Yeah, and it's underground a lot. A lot of the time. Yeah, because Ants spend most of their time. Yeah, but I mean, this really has a fresh new look, like Toy Story did. Yeah, and here he's doing his magic act, where they use
Chinese takeaway box.
Yeah, and this is. Getting back to the business side of it, this is how they animate
this. This is quite telling, isn't it? These are little stand-in objects when you arrange large crowd scenes. You use low polygon objects, and then they get replaced at time of render with the final object.
At time of render.
And even the rendering is done in a lot of different processes. So there's a lot of subsurface scattering and different passes.
So this is the map of the island. Yeah. Which they are. They're surrounded by water. Yeah. And this is a funny scene where here he is holding onto the stick character. Yes. And then he turns into a stick because he loses him. Yeah. And he says, "Where are you? I'm here. Where? It's very funny."
That's a really gorgeous scene.
Yeah. And this is basically how the film starts off. And it's got this epic feel. The camera goes in and you hear the soundtrack. You really feel like you're in the beginning of a Western, a classic Western. Now, here is the translucent world. Now, this is where this, what's her name? Tia Cratter comes into this drawing she did. She did this drawing.
Well, that
and
was
this drawing.
The rough one. That's the final.
That's right.
That's leaf bridge test. That's a test render.
With these shadows coming through the leaf, everybody says, "That's it. That's the way to go." And the highlights. So.
It created a world that we've not seen before.
That's right, but even as a child, we've all laid on the ground and held up a piece of grass and looked at it through the light of the sun.
Yeah, if anyone's done frog catching, like me...
Frog catching?
Yeah, you look...
They have frogs in Sydney?
We have lots of frogs in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
It's the city of frogs. Yeah. So you kind of look for frogs in creeks and things by... their their shadows inside folded reeds.
And there's not many shadows in this film. Actually, come to think of it, it's more this sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I guess down low in the ground.
And there's a classic.
Oh, there's a beautiful scene.
There's a classic.
It's incredibly inventive. Yeah. Like even the telescope is
a piece of grass rolled up with just a bubble of water in it.
Yeah. As a lens.
And this is just, you want to look at this for hours. I mean, green is the colour.
This is a world that's only ever remembered from childhood.
Yes.
That's the time when you're on the ground, when you're quite small.
That's right. And it's pretty messy on the ground. It's pretty messy on the ground, but they had to clean it up for the animation purposes. The voices are very good. This book doesn't talk about the voices at all, but that's Phyllis Diller.
Phyllis Diller, yeah.
Yeah, the voices are excellent.
Yeah.
And this is...
These are colour mood boards.
Yeah, mood boards, yeah.
So they serve the purpose of taking the storyboards into a more exciting...
But they're quite subdued, because what actually happened in the final product is much more lighter. It's a much lighter film than... And look at these drawings.
These are different variations. This is done by Peter the Seed.
This is this crazy thumper character who belts everybody. He's a crazy he's the craziest of all the grasshoppers, and everybody's frightened of him.
Yeah.
And here's an early drawing. It's a great drawing, isn't it, by Ricky Mackey?
Yeah.
Of the PT flea.
Yeah.
With the hat and the cynical eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's even got 6 o'clock shadow.
Now this character's really great. Molt.
Yeah,
He's a
Molt.
beautiful character.
Very funny. Good.
Yeah.
Beautifully voiced.
Some good.
Beautifully
it's a good
voiced.
Great ensemble cast.
Yeah.
So both
big
for the
cast.
heroes and for the.
So these are some of the wonderful drawings. This is the spider.
Yeah.
These
She's
are
beautiful.
Yeah, she is beautiful. And this is, you don't see much of
The
her.
gypsy moth.
Yeah, the gypsy moth. And look, this is funny. Standing
That's
on a
a
pencil.
rhinoceros beetle.
Yeah, on a pencil.
Yeah.
Only an animator would do that.
Yep. And a beautiful pencil too.
And that's a great designs, you know.
Yeah. So look at the, the expression that the
This is
concept
beautiful.
artist is working out how to create this incredible personality of the Queen and the different range of expressions going through the cycle of her emotional discharges to the rest of the colony.
Yeah, there were so
What
many
else?
characters. There's
Look
9.
at the experimenting with Flik.
Yeah.
Happy, sad Flik,
Yeah.
bored Flik.
The expressions are excellent in this film. There's very subtle
They're
expressions
really
too.
well worked out.
Yeah, here is Debugging Bugs, how they simplified the bugs a bit.
Yeah.
Because when you close up, when you look at any bug underneath a microscope, they've got they're horror stories, aren't they? They've got all these lumps and
Yeah, but it's
sharp
quite
bits
true
on
to
them.
life. I mean, these are
Yeah, but if you look at it very close,
more
they're-
roundish version of the bugs.
this is look, he's got 2 sets of hands. They're very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made
Most of the bugs, of course, have only two arms and two legs.
Was it maquettes?
Maquettes.
Maquettes, yeah.
Yeah,
Every
so these are
animated
maquettes.
film has maquettes.
Well, they should.
They should because they can see them in the round.
Well,
And this
even
is-
when you're working with 3D, this helps the drawing, of course, to keep the characters on model.
But it's
when you're
3D.
doing concept
You
art
could,
and
they
layouts
can walk
and
around them
storyboards.
and see what they look like at the back and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But Toy Story had 400 of these.
Well, it invites play.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot
but
of
Toy
people,
Story
a lot of
also
the
had
artists play
classic
with it.
toys that they could play with, like the
actual toys from the toy shop.
Yeah, that's right. They played with the animators
Yeah.
play with them. This is a bit different, but even in Toy Story, even after they were playing with them, they still made these maquettes. But this film had 700 made. That's a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. And because there were 18 main characters. That's what I keep on saying. There were so many characters. Jeez, it's good. And this is
Oh, I wish they'd done this with the flies.
Louis.
That's a great character. That's a great character. I like that better than this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah. Well, you see, he's only got 2 sets of eyes, and we all know that flies have more eyes than that.
Well, they have 2 eyes. Flies only have 2 eyes.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they're
they're
just
made
facets.
they're made up of hundreds of...
Facets.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't see one object, they see the same object 400 times.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Look at this. He's rolling backwards
Same
and
object,
forwards,
400
having a
times.
bottle, pretending to be a
because
baby.
his clown
he-
persona is to be a baby.
Yeah, and he's a big baby.
Yeah.
And
That's
this
beautifully
is
worked
the
out,
hideout
those
that they're
poses.
in a sombrero.
And sombrero. So you
and
get a
in
beautiful...
some Mexican, it's a Mexican sort of themed place.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Very well done. Where they hang out,
Yeah.
the bad guys hang out. And this is a early love scene where their antenna gets mixed up.
Yeah.
And your dog's smelling my legs again as I'm
Yeah.
filming this.
What are these? These are great.
Well,
Thumbnail sketches by
Yeah.
Tasha Whedon.
yeah,
That's a little thumbnail sketches of Dot.
yeah. Because she jumps up and down. Yeah, here she is here.
Yeah.
She's a great character.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of like those. I kind of like the simplicity of that. It reminds me of UPA characters in a
Yeah.
way.
Lost in the 50s still,
Yeah,
eh?
I
Did
wish
you
they-
ever get over the 50s?
No, I wish
No.
they'd done that. I wish they'd done that instead.
You were born in the 60s, weren't
like
you?
to at least
You were born
have
in the
seen-
60s. You're just
I'd
nostalgic.
like to have seen that in animation.
This character's very effective with what he has to say.
Yeah.
Look at those hands. God, he could do Hamlet. And here's a classic picture of them all
Grouped.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8, not 7.
Yeah. But you count the pill bugs once?
I did. Okay, I didn't. So here's the tree. This is the roots of the tree. This is all the ants.
Yeah.
They have to work together to make this bird. All of them. So you have these great shots, and this lighting from the translucent fungi.
Yeah.
There's a couple of gags here with the fireflies who just stick their bottoms on these things for the torch at the circus. See, here's the ring.
Yeah.
And it's a belt.
Yeah.
You know?
Circus ring.
Yeah. And this is the inside of the after the bad guys depart.
Yeah, they punch holes in the ceiling.
Yeah, with their feet.
Of the gallery.
And you get the impression that the feet are going to be the things that kill them. And this is about the shading. The colours are too dark in the book to actually really describe what's going on here.
Yeah.
But this is really complicated. These people who do the shading, it's very complicated stuff, computerised, and because they were actually doing stuff for the first time virtually every day.
Yeah, well, it was a time when Pixar was breaking new ground.
Yeah.
And I think that stopped with Finding Nemo, the end of Nemo.
Yeah. Well, there was a great run. A great, natural lighting, phosphorescence.
So they're all different ways of having.
Whereas in the ants
ground,
movie,
you have to light.
Yeah. Now here's a classic picture. This is the environment.
Yeah. So this is a forest.
Yeah.
But have a look at what they are. It's a forest of
Clover,
which is tiny little ground plants.
Yeah.
Incy wincies.
And this
is beautiful.
This is the fire. They do this fire act in the circus. It goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And it's later done again, and it goes horribly wrong again when they burn down the actual made bird they made. And it looks like all is lost at the last minute. And this is the bird, the drawing of the bird chasing these characters
through the thorn bushes.
Yeah, and it just
through the rose
and
bushes.
Actually the bird,
or mulberry bushes.
The bird of all characters is the most strange looking character because it's so big.
Well, it's big to the world, but
Yes.
it's the smallest bird that we have, other than those little. I think it's probably a robin or
Hummingbird.
something. Yeah, hummingbird.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
as small as that.
So yeah, this is how they come. The second time they come, they just come out of the fog.
Out of the fog.
It's
That was a
scary.
magic
And you hear their
scene.
feet crashing.
Yeah.
And this is where he grabs the queen,
Yeah,
and he's going to squish her.
yeah.
That's the plan. Yes. And here's this crazy one, Thumper. Is that Thumper? I think it's Thumper. Yeah, there's. It's just a beautiful film of its own. Like it just sets up everything of its own. It doesn't. I mean, there's a few jokes here or there that refer to other things, but it's its own.
Well, what does the joke of the rock refer to? It's just something that's simple, right?
Yeah.
It's a misplaced metaphor.
Yeah, well,
There's
because
a-
he can't find a piece of grain. He's talking about the little girl. She feels she'll never grow up and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff. Never be
the
able to
grains
achieve.
have a
So he
promise
says-
of growth inside them.
Yeah, and there's this tree,
And
this
he can't
huge
find
tree,
it.
which dominates the whole island.
Yeah, so
But-
he can't find a grain as a
Yeah.
metaphor.
So
he
he
finds
gives
a
her a
rock.
rock. Yeah.
And that becomes a funny misplaced metaphor
And
throughout the film.
At the end, the ants actually give the circus people a rock.
Yeah.
Because they think it's a
That's
circus
a
thing.
meaningful metaphor.
It's a circus thing.
Yeah, they thought it was, well, we don't get it, but they get it. It's their metaphor. But it's not. It's just a crazy misplaced metaphor.
Yeah, all in all, it's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
And
How many rocks would you give the film? Out of 5. 5 rocks.
I'd give it 6 rocks out of 5.
6 out of 5.
Yeah. It's.
I like this, the rain. I like
yes.
this.
Well, it's like they're being attacked by by boulders
I
or
can't-
small meteors.
Yeah, this
It's quite
reminded me
frightening.
of something. And when the ants get caught up
Yeah.
You know, it affects the sound as well. You must listen to this film because the sound is incredible.
That is.
Especially this scene.
When I saw it, I thought it was the best sound I'd ever heard of any animated movie.
Yeah. Oh!
They use...
Oh, it's a dead snail.
It's only the snail shell.
But this is one
only
of
the
the.
snail shell.
That's a beautiful end paper. It's a snail shell. This is probably a trumpet or something.
It was also influenced by Georgia O'Keeffe, the American artist who did all those
flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Bug's Life book. It's called A Bug's Life: The Art and Making of an Epic of Miniature Proportions.
And as John Lasseter, who was the director, once said, it's an epic of miniature proportions.
Well, that's the name of the book. So if you want to check it out, it's got a beautiful lenticular cover.
Yes.
Which means it has a three-dimensional aspect to it. Similar to the one they did, this is a more horizontal one. The Toy Story book was vertical like this.
Yeah. It's out of print now, obviously, but it should be available. I think
get it on Amazon.
A lot of the other books that followed out over the years just sort of became quite, similar, didn't they?
Meh.
Yeah, and those big pages were worth it. Anyway, this is Jim Bridges and
Frantz Kantor
saying we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.